Alright, day 45. Welcome back. This is episode 11. As you can see, my boat has drifted. I don't know if it was just like randomness or if something bumped it. So they do drift even when they're almost touching on the land. You can see here I've cleared out a large square. I'm going to be building a farm today. And I don't want it above ground, because then I just have to deal with mobs and passive things, and I don't want to have to worry about sheep wandering through my crops, or creepers for that matter. So I am going to bury it in the ground. So I went ahead and put a chest out here and gathered up my supplies so I'd be ready to go. And we're going to get started. The hole is a 21 by 21 and it's 6 deep. I didn't specifically pick this measurement. It's just, 2 blocks off each side of the end of the outline for the home, so I just went with it. Just 'cause I wanted it to not quite as long as the house is, but and then I went with square for simplicity. So it just happened to work out well. And here we are. So yeah. You can watch the farm I'm making it will take 2 videos. There's no way I'm gonna get the construction done and the planting done all in one day, because there's quite a bit to do. I'm gonna fill in each wall, and then I'm gonna put a glass ceiling on the whole thing, and so there's a bit of work to do, and it's gonna take me a little while. You might notice I picked another piano tune. This is, in fact, the same artist as last time. It's Kendra Springer. I went ahead and picked another one by her because I was really impressed with the first one that I chose. I've been building farms in the game, I don't know, for just about as long as I guess I knew I could farm once I initially figured it out. And it's kind of funny, to this day, now that I've played almost a year, I've made countless farms, collected in massive amounts of wheat for making bread. I have yet to make a single loaf of bread, ever. There's generally such an abundance of pork that I've never needed it. And bread doesn't stack, just like the pork, none of the food items stack. So the idea is you would just, bring wheat with you when you went somewhere, and you could make your bread on the fly. I don't even know what the recipe is for bread. I don't know if it's like 4x4 or 2x2s or 3x3 wheat or what. I have no idea how that works. I don't know if you have to, bake it or what. Maybe it goes in the furnace. I have no clue. I should really look that up sometime, just so I know how it works. I will also be planting a reed farm. Well, now they're called sugar cane, but they used to be called reeds because they were bamboo, or bamboo reeds, or whatever you want to call it. But wasted. Get out of here. Wasting time. Okay. Because it was oops, I didn't bring enough wood. They were bamboo, and they were used to make papyrus out of, to make books, which makes sense. But Notch added sugar, and he had to give a source to it, so suddenly the bamboo is sugar cane. And somehow the bamboo shoots still make paper, so go figure. I guess it's similar. The sugar cane stalks, shoots, are they called shoots? I don't know. That's one of those things I wouldn't mind knowing. A lot of things I don't know that I probably should. Sugar cane. So yeah, you can process a single piece of sugar cane, and it turns into a piece of sugar. Now the sugar is used exclusively for making cakes in game. It has no other purpose that I know of. I might look into that just to be sure I'm not talking wrong here. If so, I can I'll look it up between this and the next video, and I'll correct myself if I was wrong. So, I've been playing quite a bit of Minecraft while doing this. I've been doing little small updates to the home. They're not all visible here. They're during the course of this video and the next video you'll see most of it. But, I mean, I like progress. I'm trying not to actually like build structure. Oh, wow, I am like just trigger happy with this wood. Yeah, I try not to I don't want to build like structures in the game because, you know, it's more useful to just include it for the Let's Play than it is to, you know, go ahead and just do it when you're not watching, because then you come back and you're like, what the hell, he did something, you bastard. It's probably not right, but you know what I mean. Oh, no, not wood. Glass. I've started playing Duke Nukem Forever. I'm not sure exactly when it was released, but I know it was recently, and for those that haven't ever played Duke Nukem or gotten into it, there hasn't been a Duke Nukem game in 12 years, and that's how long they've been trying to make Duke Nukem. I don't know if it was always called Forever or not. For a long time it was just Duke Nukem for Never, because it was never coming out, and it's been handled by like 8 or 9 different groups, and it's just ridiculous. But it got a lot of hype because it was finally coming out, and it's got a lot of that traditional Duke Nukem feel, but it feels like an old PS2 game, and like a bad PS2 game. Like the controls are like sluggish and sloppy, and it just doesn't have that polish you expect of this generation's first-person shooters anymore. I mean, but it's kind of corny and campy, which is kind of the way Duke Nukem's always been. So I guess it sort of fills that role. Like it plays off its, you know, I'm not really awesome, I'm just sort of a humorous parody kind of guy, kind of role. So it does achieve that facet of what it's supposed to be, which is handy. Versus, you know, trying to be something you're not, which a lot of games do, unfortunately. Be something you're not. It's like when they inject RPG elements into, like, racers. It's like, why would I need to level up my engine? Like, what is that about? Or, I think of, like, the Grand Theft Auto series. Like, I loved San Andreas, and for all its eccentricities, but the leveling mechanic that it had, where you had to skill up your driving, really was annoying, because no longer was it actually based, you know, your driving ability was no longer based upon your actual skill, but some arbitrary value that the game assigned you based upon how long you had driven or how far you had driven in the game. And that's not nearly as rewarding as just having skill. Like, I, you know, hands down mastered driving when it came to Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the previous, you know, incarnation. And I was great at it. I mean, I'd run around on the chopper motorcycles and cars, all different. You know, you learned how each car handled, and everything had its own little quirks. And then you get to this system where they've implemented this false system of this artificial leveling that it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter, because you get max level eventually anyway, so what difference does it really make? You're not really accomplishing anything so much as you are just wasting time again. It's like I talked about in the other videos, like it's a time-wasting mechanic. And I get it, it's kind of rewarding in its own way, because there was like, yay, I finally did this. But it takes away from the natural player skill and gives you this fake sense of accomplishment. Because like everyone can master a gun, can master racing, can because it's just available. Oops, nighttime. Because it's available. You know, you don't actually have to work for it. It just happens. keep using the item, and there you go. It's like, it's a shame there's no skill-based games where you level actually based on your skill. Like, instead of improved accuracy, oh, I wasted a piece. You would have, improved comprehension of the weapon. Like, take, I don't know how many people ever played Elder Scrolls. A lot of people probably played Oblivion, but about a few people ever played Morrowind. And the Elder Scrolls series has always been famous for its skill-based leveling. Like, you want to get higher level in spear, well, use your spear. And, it works that way, but it's still got that same false accuracy thing. Like, increasing your skill level increases your accuracy, as well as your damage capabilities. But I could see increasing skill, increasing damage, because you're a little more comprehensive of how to use the weapon, so you would more accurately target vital points, more accurately be able to parry an enemy. And I should say it should have a subtle increase to accuracy, because surely better knowledge of the weapon would allow you to wield it with more precision. But it shouldn't dictate total accuracy. Like, especially for a PC game or, a cursor-based, game, accuracy should be entirely based upon your skill with aiming the cursor. Because that's the skill it is. You're aiming. And there's a lot of games that sort of do that. They give you this artificial, I use the word artificial a lot. They give you this, fake way of leveling, and you're not really increasing your skill. It's not like when you play, Mega Man, and your skill is directly related to your ability to play. Mega Man's hard. I suck at Mega Man. I mean, I was good as a child, but I'm horrible now. I don't know what happened, but I got really bad at it as I got older. But it was definitely a player skill game, because the more skill you have, the better you were at it. And that's just all it was. I mean, you had to know how to time your jumps, time your shots, and it had that old 8-bit learn the boss routine. Like, you find it all the time. It's in modern games now. It's just not as obvious that that's the kind of system they're putting you through. But it is still there that I'm going to spend, so long and figure out the pattern of movement or the attack pattern. Like, it's very common in Zelda games. They still do it all the time. You'll you learn to time, this is when he's going to attack, and this is when I should dodge out of the way, and etc., etc. And that's you find the pattern of how it all works, and that's kind of rewarding. Like, it's simple, but it's like you could really go at it and just lose horribly for quite a while. Try to move my boat here real quick. Plus, I'm wasting time waiting for the glass to finish smelting. But it's just, there should be more, what's the term I'm looking for? Like, reasons for things. Like it sucks to, see, it looks like it's stationary. I think it's going to move later, I promise. It sucks to work at something and it just be a matter of luck. There was a lot of, in Final Fantasy XI, you had limit breaks where you had to surpass your level capabilities, and as you leveled, you were able to do these little quest mission things, and it allowed you to continue leveling past your, air quotes, limitations as a player. And one of these limit breaks involved the defeat of a NPC. You had to solo a one-on-one fight with this mob, with this, the NPC, and it wasn't that hard for some jobs, but for some jobs it was crazy ridiculous. Like, it was the most insanely challenging thing that had ever been invented, and it doesn't work. And so it's just like it came down to a matter of luck versus skill, and it's just really an unfortunate way to design a game. You know, a player should never be cheated. A player should always have that, you know, the ability to win through determination and skill. I mean, if you can't beat it by skill, beat it by leveling. You know, that's like the way RPGs have been made for years. Like, you get to a point where you just like, oh, the boss is too tough. Well, I'm gonna go gain 5 levels and come back, kind of thing, you know. And it's great in its own right, because it just sort of, it gives you that option that if you don't have the skill, at least you can still get ahead. And you don't always get that option in some games, or you find those kind of games where there's the save point right by the boss, and you can't go back to fight any more battles for XP, and yet you're screwed because you don't have enough actual ability, enough level to defeat the boss. And so you're like, now what am I supposed to do? And you're forced to like completely restart the game because that was your only save. Or, you know, just design oversight. You should never cheat the player. And there's lots of games that do that all the time. Like, Super Mario Kart was a big example of cheating the player. Like, it had a lot of times in the game when your enemy racers would artificially catch up with you, even if you had a massive lead. And it wasn't right, because it wasn't fair to the player at all. You know, it's just, if you get a massive lead on the enemy in a racing game, that should be it. You know, you have a massive lead in the racing game. It shouldn't be, you know. But then, you know, you have the argument of, well, what if the player screws up, and then at that point the opponent is like massively ahead? There's no way to catch up. Well, clearly there's no way to catch up. That's kind of how racing works. If you end up way behind the other dude, you're going to lose the race. I mean, it's an unfortunate, you know, oh, by the way, you're going to lose kind of thing, but it also, I mean, there has to be that balance, and I'm not sure exactly where that is in a racing game, because I've never played very many racing games. So, I can't really comment on it too extensively. My racing knowledge comes down to, you know, rubbing against the wall in racing games and hoping that I manage to get ahead of the other guys somehow through sheer acceleration. So I can't really judge that as balance, but I've played my fair share of adventure and action and RPGs to think I have a fairly accurate understanding of what is and isn't balanced anymore. I mean, not that I can necessarily say I'm qualified to balance it, but I certainly know when it is imbalanced. I mean, I've tried my hand at designing games, and while I can come up with plot and graphics, you know, the visual aspect of things using preset tools anyways, I'm sure I can get ahead, I can design that much of a game, but I don't think I have the technical knowledge I need to actually understand the intricacies of balancing a video game. Like, it's got to be such a monumental task. I'm assuming it has to be monumental simply because there's so many people that do it wrong. And clearly, if it was easy, more people would get it right. So, it must not be easy. That's the only thing I can imagine. It's not easy. Otherwise, everybody would get it right. And that's generally a rule of a lot of things. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I mean, you know, everybody would be good at it if it was easy. So, yeah. Water. All your plants, well, I say all your plants, wheat and sugarcane both need water. You don't have to put water directly next to wheat, though. It just has to be next to the block, as in the water could have been under the block and it would still work. you know, but it has to be directly adjacent to one of the 6 primary sides, you know, well 5, because you can't have it on top, obviously. Oh, and it's getting dark. Alright, well, I am going to end this video here, and run inside and hide before monsters come out. And we will pick this back up in the coming episode, which will be uploaded very shortly after this one. So, I'll see you then. Goodbye, and see you next time.